get your mouth guard and prepare to get hot. We're going to hear an introduction to Raheim, where we're going to hear about body verbiage. We've spoken about that phrase, what that means. We're going to hear beginnings of that. Also, how well do you get along with you? Welcome to the New Spirit Radio Show by the Society of Novus Spiritus, founded by world-renowned spiritual teacher Sylvia Browne. Today's date, wow, it's wrong. My notes here. But anyway, it should be August 6th of 2025. Coming to you live from California, both NorCal and SoCal are your hosts, Reverend Tom Bigley and Reverend Catherine Taylor, playing audio segments we call Messages from Spirit. Why? Helping you answer the fundamental question, what are we here for?
These segments are recorded trance sessions from Francine, Sylvia's spirit guide. So for new people, Sylvia was a full trance medium, which means Sylvia contracted to let her and Francine's essences exchange places in Sylvia's body. And we think of our bodies being similar to a car. One driver gets out and another driver gets in. And this allowed Francine to share spiritual knowledge with us directly from the other side.
On occasion, another master teacher and healer, a guide name I just mentioned, Raheim, would exchange with Sylvia and present us with spiritual information as well. Francine and Raheim shared directly from sources like the Akashic Records, Mother and Father God, our spirit guides, Christ, and many others.
And meanwhile, during trance, Sylvia would sit on a nice bench in a rose garden on the other side.
And here are our hosts, Reverend Catherine Taylor and Reverend Tom Bigley.
Hello, how's it going?
We are going. That's what's important at this time. Yes, sometimes technical issues do come up, and we're here.
Yes.
Welcome to all the new viewers, regardless of when you're watching this. I wanted to share briefly quick agenda, what our outline is, why there's so much here, and what it is that I think you would enjoy listening to. That we start out with some announcements, then we follow that by our favorite segment called How Do You Use Novus Spiritus Philosophy? If you're familiar with it, now's a good time to start typing in on the comments. That's followed by special prayers and a moment of silence. Then we get into the trance segments. Yes, make your comments, but keep them short because we're getting longer shows here because of we're getting into more trance segments and lengthier trance segments. That's followed by meditation. By the way, spoiler alert, next week there is a meditation from Raheim. So yeah, that'll be fun. That's followed by closing notes and watch for or listen for the novena. That's a special prayer ceremony that everybody's welcome to participate in. I'll describe that later. Then I follow by some appreciation, and we conclude with a prayer by Sylvia. If you'd like to get your comments posted in the video, by all means, when you hear the prayer by Sylvia or towards the end with our outro music, start posting, and I'll throw those up one at a time. Let us know what you think, what you heard, what was important to you on the show. Our next step is lighting a candle. And by all means, if you're in a place that's appropriate to have candles lit, do so. That lets the people on the other side know that you're there, for one thing. And if not, if you've got a little flashy thing that's colorful, that puts that energy out too. Just visualize that candle, a live candle. Let's see. Oh, it says announcements next. Well, welcome to all the new subscribers and followers. Hey, those numbers are going up, and we appreciate that. Are you getting any benefit from this content? Well, would you help pay it forward and help promote this content? On Facebook, if you would share, like, and follow. And on YouTube, if you could subscribe, give a thumbs up, and click on the bell so that you get notified. But that also encourages others to get notified as well. If you'd like to help out and donate, you can use a credit card, Venmo, and PayPal. On our website, We also have Zelle, if you're familiar with that. It's a money transfer system that's utilized and promoted by the big banks, and you can send donations to office@novus.org. If you like, send a couple dollars and call the office to verify that it got sent. That's what I like to do. Oh, events. Guess what? New Spirit Radio, the Trance Sessions. It's our 12th anniversary of the first show. Guess when?
Marvelous.
Tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow,
that's
August
so
7th.
exciting. Oh, that's marvelous.
Tomorrow, August 7th of 2013 was our first episode, which, let's see, we have it archived somewhere. It was, I think, almost one of the last interviews with Sylvia before she passed. Yeah. Blog Talk Radio no longer exists, so you won't find those leftovers that I had left behind when we switched over to live video. However, we're going to get into those over time. We'll be re-listening to those here over time. Later, the first live video stream was October 27 of 2021. So we're going to be going on our 4th year anniversary coming up. That'll be, that's pretty exciting.
It is.
Want to grow? Man, I'd sure like to read, but that makes for fun challenges. Want to grow and build a better spiritual future? A reading with Christopher can help. Just like planting a tree, the best time to start was in the past, but the next best time is
today, right now. Let's go.
Yes. Grow your spiritual journey today with a reading from Chris. Also, don't miss out on Chris's question specials with email notifications. He's running a special right now, so go to his website, chrisrightnow.com, and learn about what that special is. Facebook users, Facebook is going to delete videos after 30 days. Anything that gets posted that's a video gets deleted after 30 days. Just a reminder, YouTube is still hosting and holding things for us. Also, if you want to be seen in chat, go to the description and look for that link, the talkstudio.streamlabs.com/Facebook. And the link is in the description, of course. Please tell me if this needs to be done. Click on the link and approve the, accept the permissions that they're asking for. And I don't seem to have heard whether this is a one-time thing or continuous. So
it's a one-time thing, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I haven't
think that's the
had to try it,
got,
so great. I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Then I may stop asking about it. All right, fun. That was announcements. Now is our favorite segment. We like to share. How did you use Novus Spiritus philosophy last week? And I always offer to Kat, do you want to go first? Do you want to do Rochambeau or rock, scissors, paper? Or do you want to point at me or go look up on the comments?
All right. So I will volunteer to go first. I've been really trying to take more of Raheim's recommendations. So Journey of Souls 3, if for anyone is like looking for references. So I'm really trying to take more of his and Francine's just earnest kind of come to Jesus recommendations around diet. Yes. Like the way that they talk to us in those trances are like, really, guys, really, you're gonna like you guys make basically saying they're basically like I was like, you guys make so many excuses to eat not great, just like any excuse to eat not great. And so I've been basically eating paleo almost this entire like last couple of weeks and just continuing to take my health seriously. And looking for more ways to implement and optimize. And is it perfect? No. Is it going to be perfect? No. Am I going to eat mac and cheese sometimes? I did today,
Yes.
but it was vegan. It was vegan mac and cheese, and it was chickpea, and it was delicious. But that's okay. That's okay. It was really, really delicious.
That can't be mac and cheese then, can it? If it's vegan and it's got chickpeas,
Cheese.
I
There's
don't.
some really, really like Annie's
Okay.
has a really good one. Banza's
Really?
a really good one. There's
All right.
Dinah has really good dairy-free cheese. Oh man,
Oh, okay. I get
I
it.
can,
I'm sorry.
I know it's okay. But I just want to say, um, like it has been ringing in my mind. Something that Chris said because my doctors have been starting to say like, you're like if you don't take this like X, Y, and Z seriously, if you don't take this seriously, like you might end up like pre-diabetes and stuff. And I'm not
Mm.
pre-diabetic. And I'm like, you know what? I recall, I want to say maybe 10 years ago, Chris Dufresne, like giving me the same kind of talk that Francine and Raheim, like that same tone of like, you got to get serious about this or it's going to be bad. Like, oh my God. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, I've made a lot of changes over the years. It's definitely paid off, but now it's kind of like, I'm not as young as I used to be, and that's okay. And I'm just thinking about like, got 40 more years, 50 more years. How do I want that to look? And if I don't make changes now in my 40s, like it's not going to be the greatest, like as great of a time if I don't really, really take this seriously. So I've lost 5 pounds. I'm feeling great. And we are going to get all of these numbers with the doctor under control. And I'm continuing to do TMS, which if you're tuning in last time, was the a prediction that Sylvia did about how they'll use magnets to try to help re-regulate and the brain for optimal mental health. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to be honest. I'm trying to not be like, oh, but I'll have like this one cheat.
Honest with yourself.
I'm really trying to be honest with myself because I want to have 40, 50 more years that are really good. So anyway, that's what I've been using.
Instead of euthanizing, you'll be youthing.
Yes, rejuvenating.
Yes, we've heard the term youthing.
Yes. Becoming more youthful. Yes.
So
if anyone is thinking,
yeah,
I'll just say one more thing really quick. If anyone is thinking like, oh man, maybe I should try it. It like just start with one thing at a time, and my gosh, it just builds and builds over time, and every step counts. It takes 99 times to get to 100, and it's okay to be number 30 on a problem. It still counts. You get to 31, then 32, and you get closer, and then you've built something beautiful by the end. So anyway, I believe in all of you. That's what I have to say. Please go for it, Tom. Yeah.
Nice. Well, unfortunately, for some of you, you may need sunglasses to look at me.
Oh,
that's because the software that normally pops up froze on me. That helps me adjust the camera. So that's anyway. That's another issue.
Cheers.
Where did I put it? Okay. As I was typing this up, I also had like a revelation about this as well. I had this odd dream. I was sitting in a chair and, feet out in front of me, and I realized that my little left toe was bleeding. And I reached over to pinch the toe, just to help stop the bleeding. Did I say this was a dream, or am I just reading this like I've done this? This is the dream. And I'm like sharing on a dream interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I was sitting at the toe had a little scratch or something on it, and it was bleeding a little, a little driblet. And I go, okay, I'm going to pinch this just to get it to help stop. And then all of a sudden, it was like, pouring out. And I was like, wait a minute. And what came to mind was, in the dream, that's like, when you get a cut on your head, they're little nicks, but they're the worst because it just bleeds and scares parents fanatically when their kids get a cut on their head, but there's nothing wrong. So that's what was going on. I go, oh, what the heck? And but I woke up and I go, oh, man, that was kind of odd. What the heck? Then I realized I did have a nick on my toe. In reality, there was a nick on my toe, and I go, well, okay, how did that? And I realized, well, a couple days prior to that, I was out. I did have a cut on my toe from spending some fun time on the beach in sandals and playing with a little toy surfer.
Oh, fun.
So now my first thought on the dream was that had to have been a release dream. So I was releasing something, and you know how in days of old, and we've heard the expression you know let something bleed. It's a helps cleanse, as it were, and I thought, oh, okay. And as I was typing this, I realized, oh, wait a minute, there's two and two together. A couple puzzle pieces put together. I was out doing the right thing, getting a release. I actually went to go watch the dog surfing that many of people may have heard about. The dog surfing in Pacifica is an annual event, and that was last Saturday. Well, I never got there because I was 25 minutes away, and there were still cars, probably well over 200 cars, trying to find the same parking spot to get into near the beach. So, long story short, I turned around, went the other way because there was no way I was going to get there in time to watch any of it. So I went back up north. I went up north to on the south end of San Francisco, near the border of Daly City, and jumped on the beach over there and started playing with my surfer toy.
Oh,
There's this cool there's a cool toy that it's a little like foam surfboard and has a little blade underneath that helps stabilize it, and then it has this funny little cartoon character on it. And you take and throw this thing out in the ocean, and it just does a great job of righting itself, and it rides the surf back in. I'm like, that's too funny. my sister found that last year when I got to go to San Diego. So then she gave me one for, I think, Christmas. Anyway, I finally got a chance to play with it. So that was, in essence, a reminder, a form of release for me of, hey, that's where I should have been going.
Marvelous. It's very interesting. I love listening to your dream interpretations and your thoughts about it, and I know that many listeners do too. So some of our Gnostic families really loves asking Tom about.
That's the body verbiage. We've heard
body verbiage. Yes,
the phrase.
Yes. And we're going to hear so much about body verbiage today from Raheim, one of his earlier trances. So that's going to be really, really cool to re-listen to. There's a lot of things in here that I was like, man, I was straining my memory to be like, I have never heard them talk about diabetes. And now we're going to hear about diabetes and see what that's about. And so it gives me an opportunity to do a little personal work myself, since doctors like, get this under control. Don't want to be pre-diabetic.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it. I don't want it.
For me, it's like, oh my God, I forgot about those.
Right. Yes, exactly.
I attended these, and going back and listening to these, I'm like, oh my God. No wonder people like coaches. It's like, it's not about just being human. We can lose track of things. Another interesting analogy or comparison is, you read a book 10 years ago, and you go back and read it again, and it sounds like a new book, or like they rewrote the book or something. No, you changed. Your memory changed. And you forgot about things. So that's what I'm doing, is rereading the book while sharing with everyone here. What? Cool. Comments. That's what we're supposed to be doing, is listening to people's comments.
I love your comments. Okay, so some things. Shout out to Reverend Danny is here, and Reverend Yvonne Dillsworth is here. Fantastic to see you both. Just much love your way, as well as to everybody else. So we've got some comments. What did you use? Jorge says, happy 12th anniversary, Society of Novus Spiritus radio show. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you started this, like Tom and Michael and that Sylvia was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then started, love this. Let's see here. Garden shares, good evening, everyone. I'm going to do crafts and cut and glue while I listen to the show. And I believe she's talking about having glue fingers already.
Oh.
That's a lot of fun. She says, I'm making journals for relaxing. You can cut out of junk mail, cardboard boxes, recycled paper, magazines. Art is fun and relaxing and therapeutic, and it's my kind of art. And this actually ties into something else we're going to hear about today from Raheim. Stay tuned. Okay. Jorge says, I stayed thankful to God for everything good in my life. Please pray that my sister's health improves and that her body stops attacking herself. Heartfelt prayers to your sister, and may we all join during special prayers with a special prayer for your sister, Jorge. Absolutely. Okay. Then we've got just one question that one. Kai just says, hi, everyone. Digging the shirt, Tom. I love his shirt, too. Love it. Fantastic.
It's out of necessity more than...
I am so toasty right now.
Fashion. Thank you. Yeah.
Wow. Marvelous. Okay. One question we have from Aaron. How do you know if you have had an alien abduction?
Who gives the best? Oh, I know. It's Bill Maher gives the best. How do you know you've done something? How do you know? I think he gives one of the best. Not about aliens. It's just joking. How do you know?
Sure.
What are
How do you know? Quite humorous. Yes.
Anyway, that's a challenge. I would say, if there's various stories. I've heard various stories from different people. And some remember things, and some have clues that things have happened, but don't have recollection of, everything that went on. And I wouldn't consider it an abduction. It's more of a visitation.
Visitation, yeah. Some people recall. Please go for it.
Sorry, I stumbled, and then I was like, okay. Some have experienced. For them, it's legitimate. I don't want to say a time shift. They realize time has passed. A long time has passed. Period of time has passed from one moment to the next.
That's a really good point.
Mostly, it's like when they've gone to sleep or something, and they wake up, and it's like way later than they expected. Some have minor physical feelings or something, like something odd happen or emotion, something of that nature. But it varies a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's a fascinating topic. I look forward to the Sylvia's prediction that we're going to hear more and more and more about aliens until it's going to be so commonplace to just see UFOs all the time that people are finally will just be like, oh, come on, like they're right there, and they'll start coming out. So I'm looking forward to that. If we ever get there, if the aliens ever feel safe enough to actually decide that that's what they want to do, because our world is just kind of bonkers right now. So great question, and we'll look forward to reading your comments as we go. As always, love you all so much. Okay. So with that, maybe it's time for special prayers.
Okay. What we encourage is think of somebody, whether it's you or someone else, think of the outcome. What is the outcome that you think would be appropriate for that person? I remind people, if someone needs their car repaired, don't ask for the money for the car repair. ask and visualize that the car gets repaired or they get the transportation they need.
Mm-hmm.
So let's ask for the archetypes, archangels, Mother God. Mother God's supposed to be over here. Archetypes, archangels, and even our spirit guides to get involved and influence, make some helpful changes, and always ask for the greater good. Because yes, there could be a lesson involved with this, but we can ask for it to be, to minimize the harshness of the lesson. So let's take a moment of silence. We'll put that energy out and, visualize what that outcome is. So. Amen.
Amen. I have one more question on here that I would
Okay.
love to read, if that's okay. How is Reverend Michael?
The best of my knowledge, he's still actually still doing well.
Love this.
He has been reinstated as a minister, cardinal, should be on the board as far as I know. The best of my understanding, there was he and Chris spoke, and Chris said, "Yeah, come on in. Let's do this."
Love
So
this. Love this.
that's where we're at with. As far as I know, Michael, he was joined us on the minister meeting last. Where are we?
We're in
So
August now.
July. Sorry, in July.
Mm-hmm.
July he joined the minister meeting, and so that's as far as I know at this time. He sounded good, sounded in good health, and is participating, and we'll get to hear more.
Oh, I love this. I look forward to. We'll let you know as things go too. Reverend Danny says, "What is August 8th again?"
August 8th is, I'm not. Well, if I'm supposed to know, I'm embarrassed. But August
Oh,
7th
no.
is August 7th
August 7th.
is the anniversary for New Spirit
Anniversary.
Radio, the first show of the New Spirit Radio show.
Cool. Very cool. All right. Well, maybe it's time we can hop into our segments then.
Oh, one other
ready.
point.
Please, yes.
Yes, in the comments. Writing in the comments for special prayers, by all means, that's public. If you want to do a private request, you can always go to the website and look for the prayer chain, post in there. Also, be the prayer. If you see a need, fill it. Now's the good time for the trance segments.
Thank you so much. Yes. All right. So we're going to hear from Raheim tonight, which is lovely. He's got a very different energy, and he's going to start off by talking about himself. So Raheim was a Sikh dervish who looks like a man named Korla Pandit. You can look in I found the person spelled it. You can look in the description. Your soul is above your body. Some thoughts about cryogenics and how to do a third eye cleansing with the color orange and the benefits of that specifically.
Cool. All right.
Right.
I suggest go get a notebook. These are, not that Francine's got any, but these are, this is like the basis for our Journey of the Soul 3 with a lot of that information in there. Anyway, let's listen in and, take notes.
I come from a period of time in which I was known as a guru. I was part of a group of people that were known as the dervishes. We, in our lifetime, did much as far as healing is concerned. I stand in life and on the other side, approximately in height, so you will know what I look like, because people have tuned into me even more so than Francine, because my energy is stronger. Approximately 5'11". I wear the type of turban of the Sikhs. I have very dark complexion. I have very large eyes. My looks are very much on the other side, correlating with someone you may know by the name of Korla Pandit. I'm not going to look at her hands because I don't like to see my hands with nails on them. Your physical body is not yours. And you are absolutely not in your body. The more you can absorb the fact that you are not in your body, the more healthier you are going to become. You are, and your soul exists, approximately 5.5 to 6 inches above your body. You exist in your immortal soul on the outside of your body, in your aura. When you become laden in your body, you begin to have physical illness. I want you to start reiterating about your body every night. I want you to start saying that you are not in your physical body. Now you may say, this is what the Vedas or the avatars really brought forth, and they began to be removed. No, you don't want to go into the state of nirvana in this life. You are reaching towards nirvana, but in the state of passive nirvana, you are not here well enough then to do good works in the world. Everyone is dying. That's something that people do not like to address, the fact that they are in the state of dying, and so what if you are? And better the fact that your cellular structure is not going to last forever. What a disgusting thought to freeze a body and bring you back. In the first place, you wouldn't come back. In the second place, cryogenics will never get to the point in which you should come back, because that rules out the soul. The almighty soul that is part of Almighty God. Now, I have the ability, because I was an avatar, to create an energy force in the room. That's why you were all so wild coming in here. Because the energy in this room begins to elevate like a temperature that you might have. And if you reach up, as I progress through this, and you reach up and begin to touch your skin surface, you're going to notice that your skin begins to heat up. I don't want you to be afraid of this. It is something that is called collective healing. Some guides have the ability to create an energy force in the room, and some guides are information guides, of which Francine is a marvel at. I am an information guide only in the aspect that I give you information about health and other things. But I'm not particularly concerned about your love life. That is the reason, as Francine says, that I will not speak, because I am more apt to say you will be dead in so many years, and so it doesn't matter anyway. Let's start at the very top, and so we do a complete cleansing. I want you to think of your forehead as being the primary. I'm not going to do a meditation, I'll do that later. You'd think with the hips she has that I could sit better. The forehead, which is the pituitary gland area, is where the third eye exists. And I want you to think of it absolutely as a third eye that appears right between your eyebrows, and when you close your eyes, it can see. This also guarantees and is an insurance policy of the fact that you will not lose your eyesight. The pituitary gland feeds your eyes. The glandular system of your body was installed by God to be the motor of your body, and unless you keep that in track, you're not going to be well. The thyroid and the pineal area and the pituitary are the motor mechanisms of the body. And what you should do every single day of your life is cover that area in green and orange. The saffron color of orange was always worn by the divas and all the avatars and the Vedas because it was a rejuvenation. It was not red, which is angry, but orange is the rejuvenation. The orange is not used that much, but I will tell you that it's very powerful. And so when you thread the orange color down through your forehead, into the back of your eyes and into your throat, you're going to find out that if you do it for 3 or 4 days, you're going to find that you have tremendous energy. There is a tremendous germ warfare that is going on in your world. That's why these indiscernible and non-treatable flus are going around. It is viral infections. You have a hepatitis virus that is now transmutating. You have AIDS that is transmutating. And if you do not keep yourself healthy and well, you will live, but what quality or quantity of life do you have by walking around in a physiological body that is not well? And what Sylvia has always put forward is that the physiological body does react absolutely to what we feel about our life. In other words, if a female feels that she must get something off of her chest and she cannot, very likely she could have her breast cut off. If we cannot breathe right, then our lungs begin to get clogged because we can't stand to be around someone whose air we do not want to breathe. I want you to notice how many of you, when you get upset, hold your breath. And breathing is life. And it also gives oxygen to the brain, and none of you in your day and age are taught to breathe, and that is not your fault. You're not taught to breathe. And you must breathe from the diaphragm. If you breathe just from your upper lung area, you are not getting oxygen into your brain, and that's why you have so much of Alzheimer's. People who cannot smell very well should start programming that they will not get any senility. The first signs of senility in people who are middle-aged is if they cannot have any smell. In other words, they cannot smell things very well. I don't mean a sinus infection. I mean they do not have the nerve, the olfactory nerve to smell well is a sure sign that there could be senility beginning.
And I wanted to, I've been apologizing to Raheim because he talks about, he doesn't like the nails, and way in the past we know that he's plucked the nails off, tried to smoke, and, got in trouble for that. And here I am trying to present him because it's the best graphic I have of him in pink. So I apologize. So anyway, also, he makes, it's, well, I don't know if she had to be there or not, but yes, we get to hear fun jokes about his, being in the physical body again, and his, dislike of being in a female body, as it were, and but it is humorous and it's all for fun. What? Oh, Raheim, visualized that he would. Sylvia would, before trance, would sit in a what kind of chair is that? The individual chair in a typical living room, the soft. Think of a couch, but now think of it as the single seater, and I don't know what that's.
Recliner.
Okay, yes, and it was a recliner. Sylvia would sit in that, lean back, go into trance, and Francine would not sit up. Francine would still be laid back, pillow, keep the head up, and then the pillow on the stomach. Raheim would sit up and do cross-legged in the chair, which was, for us it seemed rather impressive. But that was his energy. He had the energy to do that. So that's you'll hear over time some.
So neat.
But I wanted to give you that visual.
Yeah, that's
of
so neat.
Raheim, how Raheim was different and what's the right word? I don't want to say perform. Presented himself differently than Francine.
Gosh, I'm so in such a positive way. I'm so envious of your experiences. It's just such a beautiful time to be alive. Gosh, but I'm super happy with my timing too. That's fine.
Yeah, and everyone else just visualize that. Sylvia's body is sitting up in a recliner chair, and we're listening to Raheim talk to us. And by all means, yes, you can ask for. Whoops, looked like I froze for a moment. Anyway, by all means, ask Raheim to bring energy because we're thinking about him. That's why I expect many of us to maybe start getting warm, feeling extra warm. So,
yes.
Don't be, and it's not just because it's hot in here. We can ask for that healing energy to benefit us too.
Yeah, it's a fabulous healer, Raheim. And I know of other Gnostic friends who have asked him specifically to intervene with different health conditions, and people have described having had visitation experiences. It's really, really amazing that we got to get to know him like this. So you can always call on him for help with things in addition to spirit guides and of course Almighty God.
Yes.
Yes. So a few comments. Reverend Danny says, I can't smell well, but I've always been that way. Deviated septum. Do you ever, so just a general question for Danny, if he is able to respond. Do you ever take extra time to try to smell certain things, or do some things hit you, manage to get through, or is it just genuinely pretty difficult across the board? I'm just curious how you manage that. If you want to respond, you don't have to. Then Jorge says, and then Reverend Danny also said earlier that he was not familiar with Lionsgate Portal. I missed that if we were just did you catch that?
No.
Just listen to? I didn't catch it either. Goodness. And Reverend Danny says that his sense of smell is just muted this week all around. Well, many prayers, all the same. If anyone else has additional comments, or questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll be happy to read them. But otherwise, Oh, there was one thing that I wanted to point out that really, 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 really rings the bell for me. Like, it's something that I get kind of passionately toasty about. So when he was initially talking about introducing himself as a dervish and a Sikh, and he was talking about nirvana and describing himself as a guru, he said specifically, is like, look, nirvana is something that we aspire towards, but you don't want to arrive at in life, because that takes away from doing good works. And that has always been, when I heard that, I had like a physical, like, this is exactly the point. Because I get so mad at pacifist approaches that some of our contemporary gurus in the world take. It was just like, just go, meditate. You just have to be calm. You have to reach nirvana. I'm like, what are you? How can you say that this is more spiritual than the person who has the rescuer theme, who is going into burning buildings? How can you say that this is more spiritual? Right. I'm not saying that one is more spiritual than the other, but why? But how can you say that is more important and the better way of obtaining spirituality than the person who is the social worker who is looking after kids' safety, or the doctor who has, and the nurse who has just gone through absolute heck with COVID and everything else? Like, how can you say that a pacifist lifestyle is, in order to attain a nirvana, is like better? It just drives me insane. So when he said that, I got very, very happy when I was doing the notes earlier. So I just wanted to say that. So
cool.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Alyssa says, what was the thing that they said about surrounding with orange and green lights? Okay, so he said your three most important glands: the thyroid, which is right here, it's shaped like a butterfly; the pituitary gland, that is around the third eye; and the pineal gland, which is at the very top at the crown. And these correspond with the crown chakra, the third eye chakra, and the throat chakra. That's what they are. They're glands underneath. And what he's saying is that every day you should be threading beautiful orange and green lights through these three things, because they're the motor for the entire body that really keeps your body moving forward and just keeps your health on track. So that was like the first recommendation that he had there, and so I'm glad that you mentioned that, so we could give it a shout out too. So.
Yeah, that's a fun. I'm glad that was asked.
Absolutely. Okay, shall we move on to our next segment, or do you have any thoughts yourself about what we just heard?
I'm excited for the next one.
All right, let's do it. We're going to hear more about Alzheimer's, people getting under our skin, the very small role that genetics plays in our health, having a good cry in order to soothe a sore throat. Very interesting. A quote that I do want to talk about: you wouldn't leave a sick person. So I want to talk about that one when we get back. Sink your teeth into life. Get your teeth into life to keep them in good shape. Another quote: you can get rid of anything as long as you are convinced that you can get rid of it. And then diabetes and blood issues means that somebody is feeling overly put upon, and they need to get mad. Good stuff.
All right, here we go.
The first signs of senility in people who are middle-aged is if they cannot have any smell. In other words, they cannot smell things very well. I don't mean a sinus infection. I mean do not have the olfactory nerve to smell well is a sure sign that there could be senility beginning. And you can increase the smell by trying to smell different things. You realize that you go through life and you do not smell the flowers, you do not smell perfume, you do not smell coffee, you do not smell fresh fabrics, you do not smell the smell of autumn or spring, because you're surrounded by cement. And the only way to strengthen your eyes, in the Indian culture, Eastern Indian as well as in American Indian, and so many people that lived out in the woods or lived without a lot of concrete around them never had problems with their eyesight. You never heard of an Indian scout trying to wear glasses because the other faculties begin to take up. Why do people get cancer of the skin? Certainly your ozone layer is breaking down, but also because someone is getting under it. And that's the reason for psoriasis, seborrhea, all kinds of itching, dermatological problems. It's because something is getting under your skin and you can't stand it, and thereby you break out with all kinds of rashes, and you also break out with all kinds of eruptions of the skin. You may say to me, but Raheim, I have a problem with genetics. Genetics play such a small part of anything. Let's go down to the throat area, certain things that you cannot swallow, and stop and think about the things that you cannot swallow, which might be lies and deception, and things that you have to say that you don't want to say, and things that you should say that you haven't said, and things that you had to hold back because somebody was mean to you and you swallowed it. And then your throat gets sore. Try for a long time to hold back tears and see if your throat doesn't get sore. And when your throat gets sore, I want you to try to have a good cry and see if that doesn't relieve your sore throat. And I want you to think about the fact of, again, your upper respiratory and why can't you breathe as well as you can breathe or want to breathe. People don't get emphysema for the simple fact that they're breathing the air or necessarily smoking, although I don't necessarily agree. The only time I've ever loved it is because in life I used to smoke Turkish tobacco. And you don't have any in this country. When you have heart palpitations, heart flutterings, I want you to ask yourself, who has broken your heart? Now, you think it's amazing that many women, especially mothers, don't have as many heart attacks as men do. Why isn't it? Because children have a tendency to break mothers' hearts more than they do fathers' hearts, and yet fathers drop dead faster. A broken heart is one thing, but not being able to get it out is another. Somebody can break your heart, but unfortunately in your culture, as well as in my time, and it's not that different, is that men are not allowed to cry and scream. And they should be allowed to cry and scream. And if men could cry and scream more, they wouldn't have heart attacks. And so what men do is they push all of their pain into their stomach area and they bulge in the stomach because they can't stomach their life and what's going on. Aside from the fact, too, that when the stomach bulges, it makes them top heavy and they can't even sexually perform as well. And this is to cut themselves off from the waist down. Because a very giver of life, oftentimes, which is part of the sexual interest in males and females, begins to bulge right at the waistline, which cuts off the sexual love and life. And your sexual life should continue through all your life. And I'm not talking just about sex for sex sake. I'm talking about the sensuality of life, the desire, the love of life, the wanting to penetrate life. There is such a wondrous part of the world left. Even though your world as we know it, as you know it, as I knew it, is in terrible disrepair. But neither would you leave a sick person, nor would you leave a dying earth. There's still beauty to part of it. Now you may say to me, what's the process of all this? What's the reason for all this? Why tell us all this? Because in knowing, as Francine says, when anything has been made known, and immediately, whether you believe it or not, gives rise to the curing of it. How many times have you felt very frightened until you went to the doctor and was told that 200 people have this and it's nothing? You feel better. The reason your teeth fall out is because you can't get your teeth into life enough. And we're concerned about diet, aren't we? And we're concerned about nutrition. And yet what I'm saying to you above all is your mental attitude. It doesn't matter what you take into your body as much as what you are putting into your mind that is so lethal. And you absorb this day by day by day. And yet, if you think of yourself as young and vital and full of life and full of vim and vigor and vitality, you will be. If one person can win the mile in so many minutes or seconds, and another person comes along and wins it in a shorter amount of time, so can you. Now, you are the master of your own ship. You will die, as Sylvia said, when you want to die, and you will live for as long as you want to live. And for goodness sake, if you're going to die, do it with grace. Because death is part of life. It's the next frontier. It isn't the last frontier. It is the beginning of a new frontier. There are certain people in this audience that have loved ones that are dying. People themselves are close to death, some. And yet we fear the unknown. In your world, of course I am dead. I'm only manipulating this body. But aren't I as alive as you? Of course I am. Have I lost my disposition? No. Do I still have the same likes and loves? Absolutely.
What is wrong with your stomach?
It's because you cannot stomach your life. And you can get rid of anything you want to get rid of as long as you are convinced that you must get rid of it. Why should you keep putting up with things that you cannot put up with that gives you constant stomach disturbances? I don't mean flu, but constant constipation means you're holding something in. Diarrhea means you're trying to release. Diabetics in the blood means that they have been overly put upon, pressed down upon. You've got to get mad. God gave you anger for a purpose. I know you've been told that anger is a very negative thing. It is probably one of the most positive things. When you're trying to combat death at a particular time, a temperature, getting well, get angry. Any blood disturbance has to do with the fact that you're submerging anger. High blood pressure means something's making your blood boil and you're not getting it out. You're holding it in. You're being too nice, too sweet. We just met someone the other day that came over to our side. And we were questioning them because we do research the same as you do. This woman was riddled with cancer. She said, I don't understand, Raheim, why when I smiled through all of my life and kept a happy visage on my face and never let anybody know anything. And I said, that's why you got cancer. That doesn't mean you walk around scowling and screaming, but when you're against something, tell people. Stand up for your beliefs. There's nothing worse, or there's nothing closer to illness than to be, I think you have a slang word called wimpy. And you get angry, and you tell people what you don't like, and what hurts you, and what makes you mad. Now, I don't mean the snappish, carpish aggravation that goes on.
I was reminded, he's been talking about how minuscule or minimal genetics has on us physically. And it reminded me how Francine has told us, in video form, in that I think the ratio is something like I think it's like 11% is genetics and the other 89% is programming. That's the biggest influence for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, it's. I remember hearing their breakdown on that in a different trance, and just being so startled by how small the amount that genetics has, and how just the belief of like, oh yeah, this problem runs in my family, and like sure enough,
People
sure enough, as soon
absorb
as you
that.
hear
Yeah.
about it, yeah, it just absorbs. But it's really interesting. Because we can kind of see like how much of that is actually in people's heads with what we are expecting by twin studies. And
Yeah.
twin studies really show that there's a lot more that goes on with the environment rather than genetics. Environment, including what kind of messages it is that you're receiving. Because twin studies, they're looking at people who are identical twins, so they have exactly the same genetics, and seeing, okay, this person, these people had are raised in different circumstances. Let's see what happens, and it's really invaluable information that confirms that how much environment does play into this. So yeah, exactly. Something that I did want to bring up and talk about with everybody, because I thought it was such an interesting line. He said, "You wouldn't leave a sick person," and this was he said that in the context of, why are we caring about a dying planet? And he said, well, you wouldn't leave a sick person. And I think that was what stood out to me for that, is that it's so easy to become cynical and wonder, gosh, is anything that I'm even doing, does it even matter? Does it
Yeah.
even matter in this world? Like, does anything that I do even matter? Does taking out the recycling matter? Does it? And it makes me, with the quote that he said there, you wouldn't leave a sick person. It makes me think of, well, does it matter to the starfish that you found on the beach and threw back into the ocean? Yeah, it matters. Like, every small thing that we do, I think matters. And that line really affected me. You wouldn't leave a sick person.
Do one good deed every day.
Deed every day. Yeah.
And yes, it benefits the other person. It's also I think of it as benefiting yourself. If you're doing it for yourself, you may not get so much benefit. If you're doing it for that other person, then yes, you get that benefit. It's the offering of self, the giving of self.
Yes, the giving of self.
And there's lots of opportunities for it.
So many opportunities. I try to every time I go out for a drive, I try to let somebody in, at least one person in. It's Los Angeles. It's crazy. It's just
Congratulations to you.
I do. It matters. Like, why stress other people out? I'm going to get there eventually.
Yeah.
So, every small little thing matters. So, I'm going to file that one away personally for myself in the bag of reasons not to become cynical, because it's so easy to become cynical with everything that goes on in this crazy world. But I really liked that one. You wouldn't leave a sick person. It's like, no, you absolutely would not leave a sick person. You would take care of that sick person and try to ease their day, and offer them comfort and laughter. And some comments we have. Thomas says, I guess I need to get angry. I think I do too, Thomas. It's okay. You're in good company. I thought I was doing pretty good with healthy anger, but maybe I need to do a little examination there. That's okay. Jorge says, I believe the more lives you've lived, the more issues your soul carries into the most current life. There's certainly a lot more opportunities for it, that's for sure. Absolutely. Aaron says, I don't have a problem with letting go of my emotions. I've told my kids to let things go and don't let them fester. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. Alyssa says, did anyone in California feel the earthquakes? I did not. Did you feel any earthquakes?
No. What?
All right, good.
I didn't know there were Wait a minute. Where were there was way up north in Russia, Alaska,
Yeah.
and there was like a 4.0 somewhere. Yeah, I think there was one in California. It was like 4.0 or something. That's mild.
Wild. Alyssa says, yes, we had 3. Oh, wow. So it's certainly is interesting seeing like the ring of fire start to get a little bit more active. Like, oh God. I'm still watching though for as long as the stream is moving in the right direction, and we've got
Russia. According to some reports, that Russia has had a recent group of volcanoes that have been been dormant have become active. So that's And my understanding is, yes, it's somewhere on the Pacific Rim.
Mm-hmm. So Aaron says, did anyone hear about that Russia got hit with a tsunami? Yes. So they had one of the biggest earthquakes on modern record. It was like 8.8, something just absolutely bonkers. And the entire Pacific Ocean, everywhere had a tsunami warning. Our tsunami here in Los Angeles was a foot. That was not it was not a thing. It was no problem. But other places did have certainly a surge and tsunami. Yes. Yeah. So many thanks to God and to Nether for not having that be as impactful as it could have been. Looking more through the comments. I think we're pretty good on comments. Do you have any more thoughts about what we just listened to?
Nope. It's one of those, helpful recall of helpful information.
Yeah, certainly. Okay, shall we move on to our last segment then?
Great.
Okay, so we're going to hear more about healthy anger. Your perfection is based on how well you get along with you. And then we're going to hear about a variety of issues, including GI issues, spine problems, arthritis, and sunglasses.
Some fun, helpful information. Here we go.
Helpful information.
When you get angry and you tell people what you don't like and what hurts you and what makes you mad. Now, I don't mean the snappish, carpish aggravation that goes on. Why do you insist on loving people that don't want to love you? Why do you insist on being with people that don't care about you? Why do you insist on raising children that are ungrateful? Why do you insist on dealing with parents that no one likes? Why do you keep insisting on being married to someone that you can't stand? Why do you put up with a sister that's mean as a snake? Why do you do that to yourself? Your perfection was not based on the fact of how well you got along with people. It was based on how well you got along with you. That's what it's based on. And you had to deal with you in a physical body of which your soul is not accustomed to. And your soul, most of the time, wants to fly free. You're tired of your body. It gets heavy. It gets thick. It doesn't do what you want it to do. It gets older. It gets slower. It gets, like I said, heavier. Lower intestinal tract problems have to do with release. We know, and you know, for a simple fact, that when a person gets very upset, they vomit. Can't you see that that's a physiological reaction to something that's too much? The spinal column. Too many people, as Sylvia said, carry too many people on their back. Who is the pain in your neck? Who is causing your headaches? Not what, who. I believe tremendously in doctors because didn't God make doctors? But I also know that there is such a thing too, that when you've been to everyone and you have found out they cannot help you, then it's better you get over it yourself. It's a known fact, sometimes when you wait long enough, you will get over it. Arthritis has to do with unresolved energy output, but always it has to do with artistic. That's something Francine and I have never discussed at any length, but it has to do with artistic ability. You find someone with arthritis and bulging joints, it will have to do with the fact that they needed to write, sculpture, paint, and once they start doing that, good or bad, it doesn't matter. Once they start doing it, then you're going to find out how much better the arthritis gets. Keep a orange and green light around you. Of course you can keep the gold. Of course you can keep the white and the purple and all the others, but I'm telling you, use the orange because that's what we had used for years and years, and it was a color of the sun, and being the color of the sun, it purifies. Women who have problems with bladder infections, vaginal infections, if you can expose any area to the sun, two things you must understand. If sun can reach it and water can reach it, it will be healed. And you may say to me, I can't go in the sun because of the ozone layer. The ozone layer has been torn for 20 years. All of a sudden now everybody's worried about it. I don't mean expose yourself for hours and hours. I'm talking about 5 to 10 minutes you can expose yourself, an affected area. All kinds of problems with skin, bladder, and everything else is corrected by sunlight. You don't get any vitamin D. Do you know how hard it is to get vitamin D? And all of you walk around with your silly black glasses on. Do you know that the only way that vitamin D gets through to your pituitary gland is through your eyes? I told Sylvia this years ago in a trance, and it was 76, it wasn't 78. And I said, and to this day, she does not wear a pair of sunglasses. And she used to wear sunglasses all the time. And I said to her, and she said, I can't, because when you're used to it, then you do this. And when your eyes get accustomed to the sunlight, what are you going to do when the Holocaust comes? And you can't buy sunglasses. You're not going to be able to go out in the field and do anything because you don't have sunglasses. And you must prepare for that. And you're going to have to go somewhere else and take care of yourselves. Or conglomerately go together and take care of each other. And don't be like the shepherds that everybody pulls together and then they go wandering off picking berries somewhere. You people must stick together. You must. There's only a small group of you that hear, and now pretty soon there'll be more, and you've got to keep the nucleus going because you're going to be called on to save people during that time. And you're not going to be able to do it if you don't know what to do. And you're going to have to know methods of radioactivity. because the earth is full of it. One thing you don't realize is when the continental shelf breaks off, radioactivity does emit, because the earth is filled. It's like an egg that cracks open. Try to eat a balanced diet. Of course you must eat a balanced diet, but don't get fanatical about that. If you grab a piece of food here and there and you're on the run, don't be concerned about that. If you keep, like I said, your mental attitude, you will be all right. There is a group of people that live in the mountains, and they call themselves the Hunses, and they live on nothing but peanuts, nuts, berries, whole grain bread, and honey. And they're probably and eggs. And they have cholesterol that's over 300 or 400, and no one there has lived less than 100 years. They call them the group of the centurions. So you're worried about cholesterol, and you're worried about high fiber, and you're worried about low fiber, and you're worried about your weight, and you worry about everything else. And I'm here to tell you that you will live as long as you live. What I want you to do is to live and be fruitful and happy. Let's go to your legs. Your legs are very important, because if you do not want to walk any farther in your life, your legs will give out. And if you don't want to hold anyone anymore or give love to anyone, your arms get numb. And if you quit wanting to hug and love, your arms get numb. And yet, you will be blessed by God because you're here, and because that is a great feat to come into this place. And that's why most guides do not choose to come. It's because they don't want to come in, because this planet is not conducive to coming in. It makes you feel very tired to come in, because we're from an elevated place that has no lag of energy. We have no gravitational pull, and then we come into this body that has gravitational pull.
I was, matter of fact, reading about this. Raheim was talking about as the Earth gets disrupted. Now, we don't. He's referring to the cataclysm that has been had been predicted, and
At the time. Yeah.
yeah, at that time, and we know it's been adjusted, moved, or if it's going to happen or not, we don't know. But we've mentioned the signs to watch for, and Raheim was talking about the radiation that gets expelled from the changes in the geology. Yes, it's called radon. Well, at least one source is radon. That, if you're familiar with real estate and the what needs to be disclosed, reported, or warned about for home buyers is radon, and that's just a natural occurrence. It's the dust that's it's how did that go? It's not that the dust is radioactive. It's when the dust comes out from the rock that creates the radiation itself. Radiates the dust, and that dust gets into us, and can be an issue. And yes, there's easy remedies for that. Not just from there's great remedies for reducing, if it's coming into if you find it in the house. Anyway, that was, it's radon that comes out from the rocks naturally.
Very interesting. I had no idea. Wow. Wow. Fascinating stuff. I'm not seeing any comments about what we just talked about just yet. Let me look and see if I wrote down any notes myself. I really, really liked how he said, your perfection isn't about how well you get along with other people. It's about how well you get along with you. That I found to be kind of startling when I heard it, but the more that I've been thinking about it, today, it makes sense. I suppose largely, like, in the context of everything that he's talking about here about venting your emotions and getting in touch with healthy anger, it does make sense, because the person that he had given that anecdote about, who crossed over and arrived and just like, I was just pleasant to everybody. Why did this outcome happen? And he said, it's like, you never told anyone like your truth about, that's why you ended up getting sick.
You didn't expel the anger. You held it in,
right.
which is
Right.
holding in that negative energy.
Right. And then he went on to say that so many of us put up with people who are just jerks to us, who are not nice, and we keep these people around. Why? Because we're afraid for various reasons, afraid to be alone, afraid of rejection,
Right.
afraid of, financial insecurity, all, the list goes on and on. But
that's an insult to yourself.
Yes. Right. It's saying like, I can't exist unless I have this person that I just force myself to tolerate, and then I get smaller and smaller and smaller, because that's what happens. And I feel like most people have been in relationships and situations like this, where it's like the only way that we can get through it is just to become so small, and then look in the mirror one day and be like, what am I doing putting up with this? What am I doing? I don't even recognize myself. I've just become this small little thing. And then it's so much harder to dig out of it how much nicer can it be? Like, yeah, it's a little bit dramatic, but you say it earlier, be like, don't treat me like that. I don't like that. Do not do it. If you do it again, we're going to have some real issues, some real things to talk about. Oh man.
And if you value me, you'll stop it.
Exactly. Let's treat each other with respect. I heard something really, really interesting once, and it was from a marvelous professor that I had in therapy school. And I'll share it this once because it kind of fits into what we're talking about. But she made this amazing statement. She said, between adults, there's adults, not child and family relationships. Between adults, there's no such thing as unconditional love. And I was like, what are you talking about? But she was making a point of saying that there are conditions of respect that you have to have in order to really, really have both people be able to grow. And that is much the same thing as what we're talking about. I think we're talking about here, which is that you have to have respectful relationships, that you both grow and that you're not putting each other down, that one party isn't making the other person smaller and smaller and smaller, and making your emotions just like crunch into this awful knot and just be miserable all the time. Is like, no, if we back way up, what does it look like? It looks like treating each other with respect and expecting that to be the condition by which we relate to each other. I thought that was really interesting. It was in the back of my mind for years and years and years and years. I wanted to mention it. So
I would think, though, that when you love somebody, you're also offering respect to them.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's where the unconditional love can apply.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna put that respect in there. You're gonna provide that respect to that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that when I encountered it at the time, I was like, what is she talking about? This is so bonkers. But yes, I think the point is that exactly what you said. When you love somebody, you are treating them with respect, and there's kind of an expectation of like, if we're going to live together, if we're going to be on this wild trip on spaceship Earth together, we're going to treat each other with respect, and that is love. That is love. So, yeah. All right. I'll read a couple comments. Jorge says, I said goodbye to all of the so-called friends who were my enemies. Oh my goodness. Good for you. Aaron says, we are taught to be nice to everyone, and it doesn't always work like that. friends of mine are in marriages that their partners are being mean to them, but they stay because that's what you are. No, it's unfortunate. It's what you're supposed to do. And society dictates. Yeah, it's bonkers. I pray the best for them. I really, really do. Another comment, don't be a doormat or let people walk all over you, no matter who they are. Absolutely.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you very much for your comments. And this was a great discussion. Where are we now? We have meditation.
Meditation.
Lovely.
This is going to be a meditation from Sylvia. I mentioned earlier, the spoiler alert, next week, next episode, show, whatever we want to call it. Let's see. It'll be the last 3 segments from this, and that the 4th segment's going to be a meditation with Raheim. So, anyway, fun. We do encourage you for meditation to find yourself a comfortable place to sit with your feet flat on the floor and your palms upward on your lap to receive that wonderful healing energy. And if you need to pay attention to what you're doing, don't pay attention to us, but by all means come back and listen to these wonderful meditations in the on-demand. And for the rest of us, let's get rejuvenated. Here we go.
Beautiful.
Find yourself a comfortable place to sit with your feet flat on the floor and your palms upward on your lap. Now, take 3 deep breaths to start relaxing the mind and the body. Now, close your eyes when you are ready.
Symbolic roadblocks. Begin to feel yourself relax as you go down an escalator. This is your lifeline, where you can now open up your channel. This is where you can get in touch with your guides and get your messages. Count backward. 10. Let yourself go. 9. All systems work better for you than ever before. 8. Let go of all negativity. 7. Bring in God's grace through the top of your head. 6. With each breath you exhale, feel the negativity leave. 5. Go deeper. 4. Breathe more regularly. 3, 2, 1, 0. I want you to imagine yourself in a field. Feel the wind on your face and the grass flapping against your legs. And you feel the power of the Spirit move with every gust of wind. Tangible and strong. Visualize that you are surrounded by a glowing white light. Feel it about 8 to 10 inches from your body, glowing brilliantly and protecting you. In front of this field, I want you to see every negative thing that's ever been in your life beginning to rise up like symbolic roadblocks. Name each of these ugly brown blocks. Name them anxiety, neglect, fear, illness, rejection, pain, the inability to express yourself, and so on. And let these blocks build, because we have all got them looming in front of us. They hold us down to earth and block us from God. Now reach out in front of you. Take the light that surrounds you and hold it in your hand. You can pull it out from your arm just like a snowball. Throw it at the blocks with all your might. Watch them crack, crumble, and disintegrate. Furiously and more furiously, you throw these until all blocks dissolve and become dust. And there you stand, a wonderful, beautiful, God-centered being, totally in control and totally willing to do whatever God wishes you to do. Free of all judgment and guilt, you are standing and breathing free.
Now, on the count of 3, come all the way back. 1, 2, 3. Fully and totally alert. Find your...
Wow, talk about a... That's like the next best thing to a past life or life regression and wanting to just let go of all the challenges, the emotional challenges that we garnered growing up. Cool. Let's see. So what does that mean? We did that. If you have any questions about what we shared, feel free to post in chat or email us questions to newspirit@novus.org. And of course, we appreciate the listeners both live and on demand. Show your appreciation for New Spirit Radio by sharing, liking, and subscribing. Check out our websites, novus.org, sylviabrowne.com, and chrisrightnow.com. Yes, most of you know that we're on Facebook and YouTube. You'll find Sunday services available. On the first Sunday of the month, there's a variety of things, and on the last Sunday of the month. If you want to be invited, put your email on the website and you will get notified. If you want to learn more about our philosophy and get monthly recordings in a newsletter, start a study group. You can read more about that on our website. Let's see, we've done... Oh, now's the time for the novena that I spoke about. This is a special prayer ceremony where we will all be saying a phrase together at the same time, and it doesn't matter when you are listening to this or watching this. We're going to say a phrase 3 times together. I'll lead us off, and then we're going to ask a question, and I'll let you know what that question is. The phrase is, I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. So we'll say that together 3 times, and then I'll tell you what question to ask after we say that, the phrase. And we're going to do that 3 times. And I'll keep us in line? No, I'll keep us together. How does that apply? We're going to hear more about how we are a spark of the divine. We're a piece of God. And it's just a reminder because we get so talked out of that reminder. This falls in line with our tenet number 10 that says, let no one convince you that you are less than a God. Do not let fear imprison your spiritual growth. What I'd like you to do is to visualize that we're all holding hands together in a huge room, just sharing all that energy. And again, it doesn't matter when you're listening to this. So let's begin. Here's the phrase. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, ask for things for yourself. Okay. Second one. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now ask for things for others. Okay, the last one. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. I am God. I am part of God. I am God. All things are possible because I am God. Now, picture our light going out like a beacon of light for others seeking this spiritual knowledge. Think of something you appreciate from last week so you can carry that thought through next week to help keep you mentally appreciative, positive, and uplifted. Now, show your appreciation to Francine and Raheim for researching all this wonderful knowledge, Sylvia for coming to this insane asylum of the universe to start this movement, and for showing us how to get some peace of mind and grace while we're here. Asna for helping us and protecting us, and Father God for providing the most prestigious school for us to experience, learn, and satisfy our unique spark of curiosity. Appreciate Bob Ingold for some of the audio and graphics, and especially Sammy Sweet Spirit, and Javon for our wonderful theme music, our intro outros. Writing, setup, and hosting is Reverend Catherine Taylor. Editing, technical direction, and hosting is Reverend Tom Bigley. And now, a prayer by Sylvia. There we go.
Prayer for peace and grace. Dear God, I ask for the golden light of Christ to come around me. I ask that I live my life with the purest motive that is aligned with my own chart. And if there is any way that my chart can be modified to help me, I ask for you, Mother God, to aid and abet, as well as the archetypes, the archangels, my guides, the councils, and the throngs of entities that come around when I ask. Let me feel God's energy flowing through me, unfettered, without the ignorance, hypocrisy, or false trepidation we've been given. May I feel the peace and glory of God, and may my soul magnify the Lord. All the insignificant things I have worried over, all the despair that I've had, I throw into a pit and give them up to the light, saying to myself, all will pass, everything will pass. Soon, quicker than the blink of an eye, we will be together on the other side having a wonderful time. So proud of ourselves to have lived our life with prudence, justice, and right thinking. Let us bring truth to the world, no matter how small, and let it grow like an ink blot of brilliant purple light that spreads over this world, not with fear, but with love, kindness, and goodness. We ask this in the name of the Mother, the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Christ consciousness. Amen.
And Kat's going to tell us.
We love you very, very much. Take care. care of yourselves. You are worth it. And we will see you next week.
For so long we have ignored you, as if you were not there. All praise went to the Father. We were so unaware that through the years you've shed your tears for all the pain we bear. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You've planted every blade of grass, creator of the stars. And when I'm feeling down and out, you mend my broken heart. So now I sing this song of thanks because of who you are. Oh, Asna, how we love you. Place no one above you. Always thinking of you. Bless your name. You are Mother God. You're more than a friend to me. You give me everything I need. In your peace you hold me tight. You are the bringer of the light. With no fear we boldly stand, because you hold this world in your hands. You are the truth. You are the hope and love we never knew. Oh, Asna, how